Hey everyone, this is GKCS with Arun. Today, as is the case for the past, I think, couple of months, we are taking another low-level design question, and this is going to be on a topic which is rather popular: Tinder. Uh, how does Tinder work? You know, if you had to code out certain components, then how would you go about doing that? How do you design that? How do you choose what components to code? That's what we are going to be talking about. Um, And yes, if you can hear us, if the audio is fine and if the video is fine, that's great. If not, please let us know in the comments. Before we start, again, some ground rules. If you have any doubts, please post them in the comments. This time we don't have a Slido link because the Slido link didn't seem very useful as such. So we try once without the Slido link, and then if we see no, it was really useful, we'll get back to it. So for the first 2 minutes, we're going to take questions. Which is still 7:05, and then we'll start with the question with the Tinder system design. So now's a good time to ask a question. Yes. Hi Shivakumar. Hi Vikash. Kailash. Hello. Abdul. Hi. Ronak. Hello. Akshay. Hello. Abdul. Thank you. Okay. Let's wait for 1 more minute for questions. If there are none, then we will just start. Arun, do you have any questions in mind?
No, I'm just worried because this is a video which give a boost to your channel. So I'm hoping this video again would give a great boost.
Yeah, as long as it's, I think if it's useful, it'll definitely be great.
Yeah.
Shibam, Rakesh, Pradeep, Shruti, hi everyone. Mohammad Kashmiri, it's going well, thank you. Rohan, there's a LinkedIn user who's not visible here. Okay. Fanindra, hello. Okay, I think we're good. I don't think we have any questions. Arun, let's begin.
Okay.
Okay. So let me just go over the question once so that we are all on the same page. Tinder, I don't know if everyone in the audience knows what it is. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's a dating app which where you get profiles put in front of you, and you can say yes or no to these profiles. So whether you want to, let's say, have a conversation with them. So it is a dating app. It's not a Facebook friendship app or something like that. It's usually like quite clear that you're meeting new people. They find it difficult to market themselves because when you say dating, people get all shy. But it's a dating app. Okay. At least that's what I understand. That's what I think most people use it for. The second thing is you get a bunch of profiles which are in front of you. These are recommendations for you, or what ends up happening is you can either say yes, I want to talk to them, or no, I don't want to talk to them. Okay, and you can set your preference whether you're gay or whether you're straight or whether you're bisexual. But what's going to end up happening is you're going to get these preferences, and whether if you both say yes, I want to talk to them, which is swiping right. In that case, what ends up happening is you both match with each other, and there is a conversation thread which starts. So you can talk to each other, and if you want to go out on a date, maybe you can choose a place, or maybe you're too far away or whatever. That's not the point. The point is you are matched for the app. Okay, that would be one thing that can happen. You can also swipe people left, which means you say no to them. So if you say no to someone and the other person says yes, it's still a no. And if both people say no, of course it's a no. Apart from this, is there anything like which is the basic understanding of Tinder which I'm missing out on, Arun?
No, I don't think so. I think
like it's like Shadi.com, but it's for a different audience, I guess. Yeah. That's the best way to put it.
There's a question actually that has come up, which people want to ask from you. Have you used it and had a date with anyone?
Okay, Arun, what do you think?
People are asking from you.
He's not named anybody. Have I used it and have I had a date with anyone? Yes. This is long back in 20. So I was using it for a while. Then of course I met someone, and now I have a kid also. And
Okay.
even before marriage, there was a time when I was in a serious relationship. So Tinder, yeah, I've used it a long time back. But I think Arun, you have recently. I mean, I don't know whether you want to share your relationship status, but uh, you are at least you have more idea of the app in a more recent context. It's not years ago that you used
Yeah,
it, probably
yeah. I
months
also,
or days,
I
not days probably. Yeah.
definitely. I also
So
use it 2 years back, and
okay, 2 years
definitely,
back. Okay,
yeah.
that's still more
So
recent than my usage. So what does that? What are the things which came up during my time? There were super likes also, that you could actually
yeah,
send someone a like, and they would
yeah,
get a notification that this person has liked you, and then they could say yes or no to you for a chat.
yeah.
Apart from that, there was a paid version where you could get a lot of super likes and all of that stuff. So
So
I think you could
suppose
also
a
send them.
person has liked you.
Yeah,
Suppose a person has liked you, so you will not be able to see who has liked you. First of all, in the normal version, if you are in the paid version, you will be able to see who has liked you, so that you can open his profile, his or her profile, and can accept or reject on the basis of your likes and dislikes. So this is one thing which is in the paid version. Super likes is again one of the things in the paid version, and there are many more features. Actually, there are many more things that have come up very recently, but I don't use it more, so it's
yeah.
okay.
So no, there was this other feature also where if you were a paid user, you could
Mhm.
replay, like you could take back your
Yes, yes,
dislike or like,
yes. So
and
suppose somebody has mistakenly left swiped someone or right swiped someone, they can undo that, undo for that profile. So there's this feature also.
right. And there was another one where you could, let's say you're going to a city, and you'll
Hmm.
be there in 2 days or whatever. So you want to match with the people over there, because by the time you get there, and by the time you have this conversation, by the time maybe you agree to meet in a place, that's the thing. So if you were a paid user, you could choose any part of the world to actually and then set your radius over there. So let's say you're here in India,
Okay.
but you're going to New York. So you know that you will get there only after a day or something. So you actually
Hmm.
update your location without actually going there, and it would still work. So some paid features are there. I found most of them useless. So I don't think we'll be picking it up also. We'll go for the basic
Hmm.
Tinder app, which is basically you can left swipe a person which says no, you can right swipe a person which
Hmm.
says yes, and you get a bunch of recommendations which uh, you know are dependent on the radius you have chosen, and maybe your preference.
Okay.
So this is the app that we're looking to design. How
Okay.
would you go about doing this?
So okay. So since you have set the floor with the requirements, so basically from what I've understood, there would be two actors basically. One is the user and one is the system, right? Let's write it down. If I may share my screen.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just give me 1 second.
Okay, Viraj Solanke is asking, how do we balance DSA and HLD weightage, considering I'm having 8 years of experience and applying for SD2, SD3. So just before we start, can we take this, Arun? It's a super chat.
Yeah, we should.
So HLD, LLD, so something like system design and DSA, how do we balance this? Uh, and they have 8 years of experience. They're applying for SD2 in some places and SD3 in some places. Okay,
Mhm.
I would I would say probably start with DSA, because those are filtration rounds. You can't really clear any company interviews without DSA. If you're applying for startups, yeah, you don't need DSA. There are some companies where I don't think you need DSA, but most popular companies expect you to know about data structures and algorithms. So the platform that is the best to practice on. Unfortunately, I don't like it, but it is the best platform to practice on is Lead Code at this point in time. A premium subscription I've heard is worth it. So good place to go and practice. That should at what point do you practice? I think medium hard problems, when you're able to solve them comfortably in an hour or 45 minutes, that time you can say, okay, I'm practiced. This will take you around 2 months or 1.5 months, unless you already were a competent programmer or you're good at solving these things. You have practice. It will take you 1.5 2 months, and then system design will take you around a month again to 3 weeks probably, just to understand the concepts, practice a few designs, talk to your friends, do mock interviews. Uh, for the theory, there is interview ready. For practice, you can do mock interviews with either your colleagues or your friends, or randomly on Pramp. So that would be my suggestion. You will also have a hiring manager round or a behavioral interview round, where you are expected to speak about the things that you have done. So, talking about critical incidents, talking about how you handled situations or what you did is something you should have in mind. You'll be asked this. Okay. Abdul Alim is saying, I'm interested in a system design course. Is there any special coupon code? Let me create one just for this. And this will be valid for this live. Okay. Sorry, let's go ahead. It's a YT sale, in case you're looking to purchase. It's a really good discount coupon. Awesome. See you. Yeah. Sorry for that.
Yeah. Can you share the screen which I've shared?
Yes, absolutely.
Is it shared now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So from what all things or requirements which I heard, so first of all, user will be able to create his profile. This is one, which he should be able to chat. This is the other part. If he matches, this is the other thing which I understood as a system requirement. If there are any more, I would be adding them. Then there was system was able to, of course, store the profiles. So there's one thing that system would do: store profiles. Second thing is recommendation, like you said, that recommendation. So system would be showing recommendations actually. Third thing would be, since the user is able to chat, so the system would be storing the chat. So stores chat. Fourth thing is, since the user is swiping left and right, so system basically left and right swipe for a user. Okay. Since, like you said, user would be able to change the location. And as far as I have used Tinder, there's a radius which a user can set. So, of course, a user can, suppose in a particular radius, he has encountered all the people who are there. Either he has swiped left or right, so there are no more matches, or he wants to change the radius. So, of course, change radius.
A slight variation, not a variation, a slight, point to this is, Soumya Srivastava is asking that if you are going to change your location, then what about caching? So is caching impacted? In the sense that I think what's happening is, let's say I'm here in Mumbai, and in Mumbai I say that get me 100-mile radius. So will I be caching the top users in Mumbai and then recommending myself, and then suddenly I change it to, let's say, Delhi? So will I be using the Delhi cache for myself? And is there any problem? Like, I have to remove myself from the Mumbai cache and add myself to the Delhi cache. So I think that should be simple. It would be that hard.
Yes. Yeah. And I've noticed that whenever you open the app now, so there's this recommendations that are formed. Okay, so there's always a loading sign. So I feel that that loading is on the basis of locations only, where the system is updating their recommendations and then showing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it does. Loading is fine, I guess, because if you want good recommendations,
yes,
it makes sense.
Right.
There is
one more thing.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, tell me.
No, the same point around that, I think, is how are profiles saved and how close match is formed. DSN algo for that. Like there has been a question asked to Vinay, sorry, that as soon as a profile is created, how does the in the low level, the closest match has to be found immediately. I think it has to be either cached or we have to find out that people are within this radius, and you have to start suggesting immediately. I think you can think of a quad tree over here, Nikhil. Like that is one way. Or yeah, quad tree is actually a pretty good one. Sorry, you were mentioning something.
Yeah, there's one more thing. The matches are created by the system.
Yeah.
So I feel these are the only requirements which I feel are there. And I think
okay, let's say that we are we are using this app.
Yes.
That'll be a sad day, but yeah, I mean, if we need to use this app ever again, then create profile and you're able to chat. Yes, you're able to store profiles. As a system, you're able to store recommendations, give recommendations, store chat. Yes, left and right swipe. So you're saying that what is the decision a person has made. You're able to change the radius for a user, I guess, and you're able to create a match. Yeah, I think that's largely everything.
Yeah. Okay. So using this use case diagram, let's go ahead and build the class diagram. Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone, if they want, they can write it down in their notebook on the side, so that because I'll be referring to this and I'll be changing my screen, so I'll be using other software to build the class diagram.
Okay, guys, if you want, you can screenshot this and keep it on the side.
On the side. Yeah, and I'll be also keeping it on the side. Okay, I'll shift my screen. In the meantime, you can go take a few questions if possible.
Yeah, there is one more. Like a lot of the questions are coming around location-based caching. So how do you handle location-based caching? I guess one of the things that you can do is if you want immediate recommendations, you can have a set of 10,000 users or 5,000 users for every location. So Tinder had a geosharding is what they use. They have it in their engineering blog. So what they did is there are many oceans. Okay, I mean there are many the quad tree that they are using. A lot of the areas in the ocean or is in Antarctica. Nobody exists there. So they were pretty smart about this. I think they only stored based on the hotspots. Like even if you go to rural areas or if you go near the border, there's nobody. And I'm sure they're not using Tinder because the chance is really low. So you can read the blog on this. The geosharding is what they have used. Caching a section of users in a region is easy to do. That gives you immediate results. If you have left swiped them already or right swiped them already, as you see, Arun will go through this low-level design. There's a way to handle that. And you can always show them a loading bar, right? It's almost like paginating. Makes sense. Okay. Also, when the app is in the background, you can load the results. There's lots of optimizations you can do. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So since we have built the use case diagram, let's go ahead and build the class diagram using that. Okay. So I think we should start with the basic class, first class, user class. Okay. And the first thing which every user will have a unique ID. So let's give it a string unique ID. Okay. Second thing, it would have a name. So let's keep all the metadata like name, location. Let's keep location also as a string. Okay. He would definitely have pictures. So we can store pictures in a list, let's say. And of course, we can create a link and then put it here. So list of string, we can have pictures. Then the other thing is the radius, of course, because every time the user makes a profile, he selects a radius, right? So let's have int radius. Okay. I feel these should be the data members. Let's talk about the data functions. So of course, I am imagining that constructor is always there and getters and setters for all the data members are always there. Okay. Other than that, I feel this is it with the user class actually, right? Because since we have getters and setters for all of them, need not to write them. So I think we are done with the
Yeah,
user
everything else
class.
is, I guess, metadata. Like you have
Yeah,
just looking for friends or some shit.
yeah,
That is description.
okay.
So
Hmm.
you can store description. You can store pictures, radius.
Yes, we can have description also.
You don't really need to. I think Arun, pictures and description
Hmm.
to some extent is metadata. So we don't
Okay,
really care.
okay, okay, okay. Let's go ahead and build the main class, which is the system class now. Okay. So I'm just referring to my use case diagram on the side. So if I might look this side.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So let's talk about the data members first of all. So of course, like we said, system would be storing all the profiles, right? So let's have it list of users. Okay. Second, since there's one more thing that it is storing all the matches. So let's have it. Let's create a map, okay, for a match wherein we can have a key as string and the value could be a match because I feel the matches would be between two users, right?
Okay.
And of course, whenever there would be a chat happening, so the chat would belong to that match, right? So
Yeah.
we can have all of these connections. So of course, that's why I've made a new uh, class now. We'll have to make a new class match, which we'll take care of after this.
So
Okay.
when let's say person A matches with person B, you create a new
Right.
chat for them.
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes.
now what if they unmatch each other
So we'll have
and
to delete the match.
so you lose the match and then you again rematch with each other. So then you'll
Hmm.
create a new chat. I think that's what
Yes,
happens
of
in
course.
Tinder also. Yes.
Yes,
So if you
this is
match
what
with the same
happens.
person the next time, yeah, right.
This is a new chat.
This is what happens. Okay, Arun, you're saying with experience or what is this?
He, so there was never a rematch with me, but yeah, of course, quite a few matches were there.
Okay, like there has
Okay.
been a rematch with me, so I know. Yes, it is a new match. I can guess how the
Oh,
system works. Yes.
okay.
What are we trying to do? Are we trying
Okay.
to show off or are we trying to
You're having a lot of following, so we trust you that you would be having a lot of matches.
Of course, of course.
Okay.
But what offsets it is a face like this. So there's always that benefit. Yes. So okay, match.
Okay.
When you say match, the word, I mean the object match. Is it like you mentioned that it has a chat, so it'll have a user ID of two user IDs.
Two users. Right.
Okay, and then you'll also have a chat
Chat.
ID, chat thread or something.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to make a chat class also in that case because
Okay,
system would be having chat, right? Users
right.
actually would be having chats. So, yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So this is the other thing. Since the system is storing uh, users, so system would also be having left swipe. So suppose I feel that if I'm a user, okay, so of course there would be recommendations for me on the basis of the radius which I've selected. So first of all there would be recommendations. So a system, just to save time, I feel they can store all the recommendations at first, and whenever there's a change in radius, so they can system can update the suggestions recommendations, right? This is what I
yeah.
feel. Second thing is, whenever you have swiped right or left, doesn't matter. Whenever you have swiped anyone, so you're not able to see that person again, right? So system would also be storing the left swiped person for a particular user and right swiped person for a particular user, I feel, right?
Okay, okay. Like, are
Okay.
you going to store this
So
forever or you store it for some time?
I think we'll have to store it forever since the user profile would be there. So we can't show him the same recommendations again and again, right? Same person again and again.
So again, like in my experience, I've noticed that
Okay.
if you left swipe someone or right swipe someone, and
Okay.
after a certain period of time, it's as
Mm-hmm.
good as they get refreshed. So those entries, those
Oh,
yes or no's get expired.
okay.
So
So in
what
that
ends up
case,
happening? Yeah. Something like an expiring queue,
In
I
that
think
case,
makes sense. Yeah.
yes, we can have an expiring queue. For now, I think we should keep it simple. That okay,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
not
of
seeing
course,
them
of
again.
course.
Okay,
I
we
guess
can have a timer actually.
uh, you can have a timer. Yeah, I guess because the data structure that you're going for is a string of matches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see how you do the
No,
left
no.
swipe and right swipe. That will give
Yeah.
a good understanding of how you're going to handle recommendation. Okay.
Okay. So again, so since there would be a list of right swipes and left swipes, so I feel, of course, we should keep a map because it is order of one. Okay, and of course that would be a list of user only. So left swipe, this is one, and since the same is with the right swipe also, so here the string is the user ID. I'm
Okay.
okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. Right, sir. But there's one issue which I just realized now, that this list of users, this is a little heavy, I feel. I think what we can do is we can create a swipe class,
Okay.
okay, which can then store the list of users, right? Because if suppose a system has to check if this person is left swipe or right swipe, he'll have to iterate on the list,
Yeah.
which I feel would take time. So if we have a map here, instead of list, inserting, deleting, checking would be order of one, right? So what we can do is we can create a swipe class wherein we can store all of this,
Okay.
and
Okay.
we
I'm,
can,
I'm getting your point. You're saying that there's a map of with key string and list of user is
yes.
an object. So you're saying it's a complex object. I want to
Hmm.
make it a simple object, which is a simple
Yeah.
map of string to swipe. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll see if the naming can be improved. But what you're then saying is that I have the freedom to have a list of users in this object or have a map of users in
Hmm.
this object. It's my thing because
Yeah.
I've abstracted out that concept.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's pretty good actually. Yeah, you have taken a complex class with a lot of dependency. Like system would be dependent on the API of a map, but now the implementation is
Yeah.
free. You're okay.
Yeah.
This is a useful design pattern. I don't know what they call this. If there
Yes.
is a
So what?
name for this, but yeah.
So now this looks quite simple, right? So we can have, because both are the same thing,
Uh-huh.
right? And we can have the easiest functions inside if we want to add a swipe, and if we want to check if a person is swiped or not. So let's name it add swipe. Of course, what we'll get is a user, and then we can
To
add it to the
clarify,
map.
Arun, maybe instead of swipe, you want to call these. I mean, what do they actually contain? A list of users who you have left swiped
Or right swipe.
or right swiped. So shouldn't you have it like decision or choices or something like that?
Okay. Yeah.
Swipes
We
also
can
you can
have
call them.
that.
Swipes S is S with this. Yeah, that would be good.
This is what you're saying now.
Yeah, without the apostrophe. Yeah, this makes sense. Add to swipes without the apostrophe, I think. Otherwise,
Yeah.
most languages
Java
are going
will
to go.
not take it.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's
Okay.
something add to swipe, and if a person wants to check if a person is swiped or not, then I think we can have that function as well. So that would be boolean. That would be returning boolean value.
Yeah.
Check if swiped, and of course we'll be getting a user.
Okay. Why do
And
you
these
have left swiped and right swiped? Shouldn't you have just one class and you can take care of type of swipe here itself inside the class?
yes, of course we can, but
Okay.
why did we have? I thought since it is not taking any extra space, right?
But it's
That's why I
taking code,
thought,
right? I mean,
yeah, it
it's
is. It is. It is. So we can have that as well.
okay.
Yeah. But right
Maybe,
now,
but
I don't know why I'm feeling that separation should be good. I don't know why.
Okay.
Might
Maybe
say
it
code
might get easier. Yeah.
little later.
Initially, you're keeping things simple.
Yeah, we can always optimize it later on. So
Right.
let's go ahead and then we can optimize it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is one. Of course, the system is storing suggestions also. So suggestions would be there. Okay. So again, there's a list of users.
Okay. This looks extremely similar to
Yes, the above one.
already exists.
Yeah, above one. But we can have the same thing for
If it
made
is
for this
conceptually
also.
different, we should have it different. Otherwise, we should, if
Hmm.
after all, code
Conceptually,
is
it is
not enough.
different.
Yeah, conceptually it is different.
Conceptually, it is different. So we'll have to make a separate class because it will have different functions altogether, I feel. Because suggestions would get updated when the radius changes. Suggestions would get updated if suppose you have seen a few people, like there's since you, because of my experience with Tinder, uh, every day you get a particular hard stop that okay, let's say you can see only 10 profiles, left swipe or right swipe, only 10 profiles. So once you have seen those 10 profiles, then you will not be able to see those profiles again, and you will not be able to see more than 10 profiles. So suggestions would have a different functionalities altogether, data functions. So that's why
So okay,
let's
that
keep it right.
you're right. Yeah, it's a.
Hmm.
So then maybe again it's a complex object of string list user. Maybe
Right.
there is a separate class of suggestions that we can create.
Yes, we can, of course, we can,
Like
we can,
it
we can.
copy paste of the above thing actually,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
largely. But suggestion again,
Largely,
the behaviors are very different. That's the reason why you have split these classes. You have not kept them the same. If you had
yes,
combined the two classes, their behaviors would have looked very weird. Like swipe
yes,
is not a suggestion.
right,
So suggestion may you can say yes or no to it, but in a swipe you can't say yes or no to a swipe. So
yeah,
it's good that you have separated out. I think that makes sense.
right. Okay, I think we're done with the data members. I can't think of any. So let's move to the data functions now. So the first things first, recommendation. So of course the system would be returning a list of user wherein he can recommend. What will he get? He'll get a user, right? This is one. Second is the functionality, swiping left or swiping right. So wait, swipe left. So what will he get? So I think he'll get two users. User A has swiped left or right to user B, I think.
Yeah.
So I would be getting two users.
Do you want to create an object? Swipe A, swipe B. I mean, after all, it looks like your swipes class is storing a swipe. But having a user class is also useful, I guess.
Hmm.
It avoids the front end from becoming complex. Otherwise, tomorrow if the definition of a swipe changes, something else happens. So
Yes.
here you just need to sign two things, and
Hmm.
the concept of a swipe is handled by the backend, by the system. So there's that
Yes.
benefit. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing I feel would be there for the right swipe. Okay. Again, there would be two user A and user B, wherein user A has swiped right for user B. And of course, in right swipe, I would be checking if user B has also swiped right for user A. If he has, then of course I'll have to create a match. So I think matching should be a private function which should be handled just by the system. So void create match, wherein
Okay.
again we'll be getting two users, user A and user B. I think what else can be? No, I think create a match would always have two users, right? So creating a match.
So
Okay.
when will you run the create match? You mentioned when there's a right swipe. That time you go and check,
Yeah.
hey, have you also done this?
Yes. If suppose user A, because I'm assuming that user A has swiped right for user B. So I'll go and check if user B has also swiped right for user A, which means that I'll be checking this right swipe. That if this map has user A or not.
Yeah, no, I just had maybe a business optimization. I don't know, it depends on the behavior. When it comes to guys, right, on the platform, uh, they end up swiping pretty much everybody, right? So you should probably store the people who they have not swiped right, so that it's like a negative. And for the girls, you should just store the people who they have swiped right, because those two sets are really small, so it's easy to handle, I think. Uh,
That
Sorry.
doesn't sound right. Okay, engineering problem.
Yeah, no,
Let's go ahead.
that's the real scalability issue. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Private
Okay.
void create match. Yeah, this makes
Yeah.
sense. I think most of the
Mm,
requirements are then taken care of. Is there something else that you want?
yeah.
Oh, you want to change radius.
Chat. Yes, change the
For
radius,
chat.
because in whenever you are changing the radius, we'll be automatically changing the suggestions, right? So change radius. So what will we get? We'll get, of course, for which
The
user we
user
have to
wants to
change the
change it.
radius.
Yeah,
So user, the new radius, and yeah, I
okay.
guess that's it. This is what, yeah,
That's true.
chatting also. So whenever the user has matched, suppose the user A sends a message to user B. So of course, like we mentioned in the requirements, that system is storing the chats. So sending a message. So sending a message. What would we have? So a message would always belong to a match, right? Which so we'll get a match, that which match are we having a chat in, and what we can have is a chat. So in that case, we'll have to create a chat class also now, which we'll create.
Chat is basically
Uh,
okay. You're sending the message to a chat. Okay. No,
yeah.
you're sending this
This
chat is the message itself. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
You
chat
have
is
sent to.
also
Okay,
chat I feel would be storing the sender also, the time also, and the description or the string which a user has sent.
makes sense. Yeah.
And yeah,
Everything else can be given
and
to the UI. Like whatever is inside the message, to some extent, if you have to render any link or you want to have some sort of an image, uh, that can be that can be taken care
hmm,
of in the UI.
and yes. And most unfortunate thing, whenever someone unmatches you, system has to take care of that as well. So
Okay.
unmatch, of course, what will we do? Of course, we'll get the match and we'll get the users. So let's say user A unmatched user B, and they belong to a match. I think we can get all these three because front end would be having these three, right?
Yes, feels
Yeah,
terrible just to write the code, doesn't it?
yeah. Okay. I feel this is done. Largely, we've taken care of all the system requirements. I Let's make the match class now.
Yeah, I think there are certain questions on, what if you change location and all. Frankly, if you change your location, it's I think once you go through this, you'll see that it's not very complex at a high level. Of course, if you actually go to write the code out for any of these functions, it's going to be complex. But if you're changing your location, your radius remains the same largely. You can change your radius also. You can basically change a lot of stuff in your profile. That has to be taken as
And
an
on the
event.
basis of
Yeah,
that, we can call the recommend function again, which will build the recommendations altogether again, or suggestions actually
yeah,
altogether
yeah,
again.
yeah.
And this is what happens from my experience. Whenever I used to change the radius or something else, there used to be altogether a loading sign which I used to see, because I feel the system is now again making recommendations, suggestions, because there is no lag when I'm swiping left or right. There is no lag. Next photo used to come, next person used to come up there and then. So there's no lag. So which means the system has pre-calculated stuff, and there's no lag in swiping. So there's no inconvenience caused in swiping. So I feel that recommendation change, basically recommendation engine works whenever there's a change in any of the stuff that happens.
Do you think on the UI, the recommendations that
Hmm.
you have are then filtered
Hmm.
based on the changed, like if you change your location, I guess everything changes. But if you
Yeah.
change your preference. If you say I want everyone in this radius, then what ends up happening is that the client has cached, the client has 100 recommendations. You say instead of 100 kilometers, make it 50 kilometers. The client goes through those 100 recommendations and just kicks out the ones above 50 kilometers. Do you think that happens so that real-time response comes? That must be it, right?
Yes, yeah. System would be handling all of that. Uh,
We don't
System
need to
actually
handle
could
it
be
here.
handling a lot of other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
System could be doing it with the AI also, right? That,
Yeah.
suggesting matches on the basis of likes and preferences a person has said, and suppose the other person also likes similar things. Because I remember there used to be tags also in each and every profile. On the basis of description also, they can show different people.
Oh yeah,
So there could be a
that's
lot of
that.
stuff.
There could be a lot of
There
stuff.
could be a
You
lot
might
of
have ordering of images. You might say
yes,
that, listen, I will handle it for you as a system. Your best images
yes,
will be put forward depending on the
yes.
likeliness of it getting liked. So yeah, all this stuff can be taken care of later. I think you're right. Let's just go for the simple implementation first, and then we'll add those
Yes.
features if we have the time.
So now I feel there should be a match class, which we have discussed, right? So match would have two users. So first we can have a user A, user B, and of course a match would always have a unique ID. So just to keep a unique descriptor, I'm putting ID. It will have a creation date. We can have this metadata, or we can remove it for now. Okay. There would be a list of chats each and every match would have, right? Uh, this is what I feel should be there. As the data members about data functions. So whenever there's a message or whenever there's a new chat, I think we'll have to add it to the chats. So I think we can have void add message. What will we get? We'll get a chat. And yeah, there could be, this is one of the setters, but we can have it because whenever a person opens the chat, so there would be a function which would be fetching the chat for that match. So we can have that as well. List of chat, fetch chat. This is again the getter function actually, but in a different name, right? And yeah, I feel this is done with the match class. The other would be the chat because we've talked about a chat a lot. A chat could be, I feel, a simple thing which would have just a description.
Yes.
String message, we can have message. We can have a sent by. So sent by would be a user. Maybe we can give it a better name. Sent by. And of course, creation time, date, metadata, we can leave it for now.
Yeah, I mean, send by can be sender also.
Yeah, sender. Yeah, sender. So sent by could be sender. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
I
I
think
feel
largely
this
this
is
is taken
large.
care of. Yeah, a chat system we have talked about, I think, a little earlier, unless I'm mistaken. No, a chat application is there in the course that we have.
Yes, yes. But in Tinder, actually, there are simpler chats. There are people can't see the read receipts or the sent receipt.
Yeah,
People just can
there's no
only
group
see
chat also. It's
you.
very basic.
Yeah. So and you only get to know if the other person has read your message or not whenever the other person replies. So
Yes, yes. No, it's
okay.
crazy.
So
Like Tinder is probably a good system to start with because no, like you said, no read receipts. There's
yes,
chat is not complex. Like you can't react to it. I don't know if it has changed. Like, sorry guys, we have been out of the market for a while. That's why. But I don't think you could react to chats. You could send
yeah,
emojis, links. If you had to send, you would actually copy paste and then paste it there. Like, hey, this is
yeah.
my
Which is again a
profile.
string altogether.
Yeah, it's a string. Uh, there's no ordering of chats. Also was like very basic. If you have two people, there's a match. You just send it to that thread. That will take care of it. There's no group
Yes.
messaging,
Yeah.
like multiple people sending different messages. I guess
Yes.
if you were offline for a while and you would send a message, it would not reach. So it would just fail. So all
Yeah.
of that stuff. It's a very basic system. Good place to learn system design.
Okay. This is largely, but guys, if you want to learn WhatsApp low-level design, this is in our course.
Yeah, it's there.
So you can,
In
it's
fact,
there. So where we are,
a short note
yeah,
on
go
that,
ahead.
Arun. It's already released to existing
Yeah,
interview ready customers. So if you have purchased the interview ready course, just go to interview ready. You'll see it in your profile. You'll see it in the banner, the link to purchase. Uh, right now, it is just for interview ready users because we want some. We want to be sure that this course is good. We are taking feedback from everyone, and we are seeing if it's if it's great, then we launch it to a larger audience.
okay. I think we are done with the class diagram, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's use it to build the code now. In
Okay.
the
We
meantime, can we take a few questions? Yeah, I'll
Yes.
be keeping it aside.
So one question is subscription policy. We are not going to tackle that here, Akshay. That's a good question though. Should we save them in DB? Keeping them in memory is not practical. Yes, we should save them in DB. Should not keep it in memory. I'm assuming you're talking about matches or chats. Mihir is saying that hey, you can use functions like map, filter, sort, count, max. Yes, you can. Yes.
Definitely we can, but the thing is, in low level design, uh, most of the optimizations are not taken care of. Here we take care of basic optimizations, but we largely take care about the services or the functions which you're going to make, how you are going to write the code, which design pattern are you going to use, so that later on, if there are few changes, those are also incorporated without much hassle.
Hmm. Also,
All of
Arun, do
this,
you think all of
yeah,
these like these if you are going to do all of this by yourself, you're going to map the users to their locations, then filter through the nearby guys, then sort them, then you're going to count and min max. You probably shouldn't be doing it here. Should probably be doing it in a proper
yes,
recommendation engine. And the more complex you make your code, instead use a data structure which gives you these functions as an API. Data structure doesn't always mean linked list or binary tree. Data
yes,
structure means a structure where you can store data and it behaves in a particular way. You can do get and set operations to that. You can manipulate data inside it. So you can create your own custom data structure for this. You can augment a quad tree, for example. There are ways that you can actually go ahead and do this. You show me map, filter, sort, count, min, max. I'm not going to be impressed as an interviewer. I'm not going to go like, wow, you were able to like that code is so basic it doesn't really matter as a stream. Good point though. Good try, but it doesn't matter. Uh, are we going to make chat service separate as a service? Okay. My name is Mira. I'm currently pursuing MCA from MNIMS University. I want to ask an interview ready for that is interview ready for my level or for experienced engineers. I have zero experience. Uh, the low level design course actually is for your level, but the existing course that we have is not for you. It's for people who are currently working in the industry. So if you have just joined your job, that's okay, but you are currently pursuing your MCA, right? So it's not for you right now. You are interested in system
um,
design, I understand that. Just go to interview ready. Uh, the next question you asked is just go to interview ready, go to the free resources there, go through the free resources. Once you have a job, once you have some money to invest in yourself, then purchase the course. Low level design, if you want to purchase, yes, it is for you. The one that I and Arun have made very recently, it's not public yet, so you'll have to wait for. Arun, what do you think? How long do you have to wait?
I think a week or two, not more than that.
हाँ, मुझे भी लग रहा है. We launched it on Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
we launched
it's
it
a
on
private link.
Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's doing rather well. Actually, we had opened it only for 100 people. It got sold out in half an hour. Then we got complaints that I read the email late. I'm in a different time zone, which makes total sense. So that's why we have increased it to 500 people. Our primary reason for releasing it to a small batch is to get some awesome feedback and understand whether this is actually helping you. If it's not, we will make it help you. We will make it better. If it is, we will make it better even then. But we'll also launch to the public. That's the idea. Thanks, Mihir. Sorry, we digressed. Yes, Arun, let's go ahead.
Okay. Let's build the code now. I feel from using the class diagram. Okay. So first things first, let's build the basic class first, the user class. I think everyone should be able to see the font now.
Yeah.
If you can
Pretty
give a yes or no.
Yes,
Right.
for me it's visible, and half my screen is.
Guys, can you give a yes or no? Yeah, he said yes.
Okay, amazing.
Okay, so I'm just referring to the class diagram which we have built on the side. I have opened it on my second screen. Okay. Okay,
Okay,
cool.
that's great.
So first is ID. Second is we're talking about all the metadata actually. Okay. The third thing could be like we said, pictures. So we can pictures. We'll have to import this list. Okay. The fourth thing is location. So let's have it as this only. And the fifth thing is radius.
Okay. Okay.
These are
Location
the
is
five
something like
things which we
coordinates,
talked
yeah.
about.
Okay.
Then we can have a constructor, basic constructor. People can write it themselves. Okay. Yeah. And other than that, I think we only had getters and setters, so we can leave it for now. Let's move to the other class now, which is class system. Okay. Now, what all things was a system having? System was having a list of, first of all, it was storing all the users. So user list. Second thing, it was storing all the list of matches, which I'm able to see here. So this was a match ID, and basically a matches of a user actually. So matches. Okay, just showing red mark because we don't have a class match right here. So let's make a class match also so that this red goes away. Yeah, we'll have to import map. Okay, yeah. Third thing is a left swipe and right swipe. So we can have string comma swipe, left swipe, and same thing is for the right swipe also. Right. Again, this is showing red mark because we don't have a swipe class also. So let's just write it so that red mark goes away. Yeah, red mark went away. Now there was a list of suggestions for each and every user. So string list of user suggestions or recommendations, whatever works. Okay. Largely we are done with all the data members. Let's go and talk about the data functions. So first thing first, like we discussed, a user basically system would be able to send recommendations. So wherein system would be returning a list of user recommend. What will he get? He'll get a user, right? This is what, and now we'll have to return. Let's say we are returning top 5 users every time. Let's say there's a hard stop that every day the system would send you 5 users. Okay. So what does this mean? That since we have a list for each and every user, right? So we can iterate on this list and we can return the top 5. Now, since we do not want to see those 5 users again, so we should remove them from the suggestions as well, right? So list of user list equal to suggestions dot get user dot get ID, because we are, no, you see, we are getting this red mark because we do not have a getter here for ID. So let's put it so that this red mark goes away. Okay, see, this red mark goes away. Now,
Okay.
since we'll have to return the list of top 5 users, right? So dot stream dot limit 5. Let's say we are returning 5. If you want 10, then 10 also. Dot collect. Yeah, I think we're done. And now I think we'll have to remove these 5 from this list also. So let's go ahead and remove it. Suggestions dot get again, user dot get ID. Okay, and dot sublist 0,5 dot clear. Why are we okay? And then we can return this user list. Okay, so I think we are done with the recommendations. The other function was changing the radius, right? Because the user was able to change the radius. I think this is going to be a good function. It should take time. So change radius. So first of all, we'll get a user, and the second would be int radius. Okay. So first thing first, user would be able to change the radius. So what we have to do in the user class, we'll have to change the radius. So setter for radius. Okay. So just let's just write it with a better name.
Okay.
Void change radius. We'll get this dot radius equals radius, and then we can return. So we can have user dot change radius, and we can pass radius here. Now, since the radius has changed, so we'll have to change the suggestions for this user. We'll have to change this recommendation list for this
Okay.
user. So I think we can keep it simple, that we can iterate on the list of users, all the users, okay, and we can see if a current user falls into that radius or not, and if that user is already left swiped or right swiped or not. If that is, so we'll not put it in the suggestions. If that is not, we'll put it into the suggestions, right?
Okay.
So again, now this could be optimized a lot. I feel this could be optimized a lot, but just to keep it simple, and I don't think interviewer would ask you to optimize it there and then.
Yeah, I mean,
Then
there's also a limit, right?
yeah.
It's not like they can't ask you to optimize, but it's
Yeah, they can,
it's just yeah, it's
but then they'll give you time also.
yeah, exactly. It's not that they expect you
So,
to know everything beforehand, unless they are crazy, I guess.
so if the person is in the left swipe or not, which means how do we have to check if that person falls in the left swipe or not? So
You can just go through
we'll
this
get the
table.
list of swipes. Yes, we will get all the swipes because this is a map. So we have the user ID, right? And in that swipe, have we made the swipe class? No, we haven't made, but we
You
had that
haven't made
function
it,
where
but
we were
you
checking.
can assume it's you can assume the functions exist.
Yes, left swipe dot get user dot get ID.
Okay.
So here we get the swipe object.
Okay.
Now here we have to check if it contains, because this was a function in the swipe which we made, right? Dot let's make a function contains only,
Yeah.
or maybe
You
has.
can have contains, I think, because what's going to end up happening is you can have a map inside. So if you say contains the other user's ID, then you just ignore it. So
Users
that will be an order one
dot
operation.
get, yes, get I.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel this should be it. And same thing goes for the, if this is going to be the case for the right swipe also, just not writing it down. Okay.
You
Let's
can
swipe to
press
the left
enter
or
and
right
maybe do
swipe आएगा.
a copy paste. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay. We just right swipe.
Okay.
Okay. In that case, we'll have to continue. We need not to put that here, right? And the second case could be if that location is out or not. If that location is out of my radius, then we need not to put. If that is within my radius, so we can put it into the suggestions. So let's make a list of user new suggestions. Let's just name it. Okay. If user list users dot get current user basically dot get location. Now this is again get a function for location in the user class. Let's just keep it simple. Of course, there would be an API which would be checking both the coordinates, right, of this user and that user, and then calculating the distance. But for now, let's just keep it that this minus sign gives us the radius, right?
Yeah. Let's go C++ overloading the operator.
Yes, yes, is lesser than radius. In that case, only we'll have to put this user into the new suggestions, right?
Yeah. Actually
New
in C++,
suggestions.
there is a way in which you can, if there are two objects, and you can overload the operators like minus and plus
Yes,
and
we
all
can.
that. So that's pretty intense.
This is called operator overloading.
Yeah, yeah. That I don't think Java has that. Like that's crazy.
Maybe people with DS and Algo might know. Yeah, and now we can replace this. This new suggestions is made, I feel now,
Yeah,
and we can replace it for this user here in the suggestions. So we can have suggestions dot replace user dot get id comma new suggestions.
okay.
Yeah, and I think we're done with the changing radius. And this sort of function I feel would be there for changing the gender whenever someone changes the preference, basically, as in that okay, I am interested in boys or girls, let's say from boy to girl. Same thing would happen, and there would be much more checks just after this, that if that person is having the same gender according to my preference or not. Uh, Filtration would be on the basis of that also. Filtration would be on the basis of tags also. There would be a lot.
Yes. No, absolutely makes sense. Yeah, yeah. It's going to be more complex, but it's basically a bunch of filters that you have to apply. Uh, I think
Yes.
someone actually picked this up. Was it Mihir who was
Yeah.
mentioning that hey, you can use a sorting and filtering and everything. We are not getting too deep into that because it's not the core requirement. But yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're done with the change radius. Now, again, the other functions were swiping left and right. So let's go swipe. Let's first make the right swipe. Okay. Let's make people happy. So we'll be getting two users, user A and user B. Right. Now, since A has swiped right for B, right? So we'll have to put it in the right swipe, I feel. We'll have to put it here. in the right swipe for this user, in this swipe, I'll have to put it.
Yeah.
Right. So we can
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
you're now saying that it is also order one. Okay.
Yes, order of one.
Assuming that all of this can be put in memory. Okay.
Yes. Dot get a dot get id dot, let's have a function add to swipe because we had in the class diagram, and we'll pass the user b. Right. I think we'll have to check one more thing, if the b has already swiped right for me or not. Suppose if the b has swiped right for me, then I think at this instant I'll have to create a match, because so if
Yeah.
so how will we check if b has swiped right for me or not? I think we can check if this swipe for b is having me or not, because system is having
It's
the list
order
of all
one
the right
because
swipes.
swipe as an object is basically a map. So all you have
Yes.
to do is similar to what you did above.
Yeah. So people can check or maybe write that if condition, just writing check if swipe right by b. In that case, we'll have to create a new match.
Such happy times. You're doing some good in the world at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So we can create a match. So maybe match equal to new match, and we can pass a and b at this instant. Okay, we haven't made the constructor here, that's why it is showing this. And I think we can add this match for both the users, right?
No, I think it's red
For
because
both the,
we don't have a closing bracket over there. But that doesn't matter because it's basically been commented out, right?
oh, acha. Okay. Okay. Now it works. This red is for the constructor.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we can add it for both. So matches dot get a dot get id dot add this match. Same thing for the b as well. So just not writing it down, but same thing would be for these matches also. So whenever a person opens matches, so he'll be able to see the list of he or she would be able to see the list of all matches. So if a person asks or click on that fetch me the list of all the matches, it would be order of one, right?
Yeah. In fact, one shortcut for the ID is if you press Command D now, like at matches, if you press Command D, here if you press Command D. So the line that you're at 62, line number 62, your cursor goes there, and you press Command D.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Command D.
Yeah. Command D for Delhi. I think at the start of the line you can press it. It should work.
Command D.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is like instead of copy pasting the lines, the command is what.
Oh.
When I used to code in Java, long back.
Okay. Yes. And I think this is the same for swipe left also, but this part would not be there. We'll just be adding it to the left swipe. So
Yes.
we can do this right here. Maybe just swipe left.
Okay.
And instead of this, it would be left, and this would not be there.
Yeah. We can assume, because you have made the data structure independent, the left swipe, we can assume that the data structure left swipe is basically an expiring map. Now,
we can imagine that.
Which expires at after a certain point in time. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I think we have created the match here itself. Then there's one more thing.
Is there anything else?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sending a message is there and unmatch is there. I can see here.
Yeah, I think sending a message we can ignore because it's so.
Yes, we just have to add it to the match only, because the same thing. We will have to add that chat into the match. The same thing.
Yeah,
and unmatching is also
is basically throwing out the match from the object.
Yes. Right now,
So
here we are adding it. We'll have to remove.
I think we are good then. Arun, let's not go there. What I would suggest is maybe we can take this question, which is a little trickier, which
Okay.
is if you have a huge database, linear search for recommendations is not great.
Yes.
Nikhil basically had an interview very similar to this. So he was the interviewer was more receptive for a graph data store with edge
Mm-hmm.
weights. What would we
Okay.
use if, let's say, you have a user and you want to give them recommendations and you want
Mm-hmm.
to give them quickly?
Okay.
What would be something that we could use for recommendations?
Hmm. No, actually, like I talked about this in the when I was setting the preferences, in that only, that it could be optimized a lot. And what would we use? Uh, we can have basically, I feel, hash maps on the basis of locations in that case. Okay, suppose if I'm in location A, uh, and at max, how much radius will I, on the general basis, 10
Yeah.
kilometer, 20 kilometer. Engineers can have 50. Okay, at max. Okay. Uh, but yeah, so suppose that location falls. So basically, we can have a map wherein if this location and this location is having a distance, let's say 5, and my radius is 20. So all the folks that were there in this would be put in at once. So we can have basically a map of maps, I feel, or maybe graph also again, wherein two
Yeah.
locations are there. For each and every location, we can have a bunch of users belonging from that location.
Similar to how Swiggy finds who's a nearby rider, like you have a radius, you can use a quad tree.
Yes.
It's pretty useful. Uh, do that. Uh, Graph database is also fine, but graph database has the problem that how are you linked to these users? Yes, you right swipe or left swipe. Yes, you have a tag which is
Mm.
in common, but it's not good enough. Go for something which is more location based because the biggest filter is location, and then gender. So you probably want to have
Yes.
different quadries for different genders, and you don't want to be like, it's not that India is going to match with Sri Lanka or the US is going to match with Mexico. Like what you can do is you can keep it country wise also. That this country USA has its own
Mm.
uh,
Database or
database.
tool.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to have it in Europe. I guess you can have like all of Europe is basically like one country. You treat it like a country, or maybe yeah. If you have 160 kilometers, even then, yeah, there's no. At least in a country like India, like near the borders, everything is it's impossible. Nepal, Bangladesh, yeah, that's probably the max. It's a huge country. You're not going to go out of this country to get a match.
Mm.
Even in the US, it's a huge
So
country. So
engineers can go up to any extent. We
okay.
we
You can
we
change
are
your
so
location
short
first,
of, yeah,
yes.
we are so short of girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
that is
Uh,
definitely something
a
that
pain.
Tinder has probably come up for engineers probably. Can we use some shortest
Yeah.
path algorithms for graphs? Will that be efficient? No, I don't think so. It's not this is not a shortest path algorithm. Like it doesn't matter. What you want
Mhm.
is recommendations means if you see someone who's getting matched a lot, right?
Mhm.
Who's getting a lot of right swipes, that could be one weightage. Matched a lot, that could be another weightage. Speaks for a decent amount of time. A conversation, they are engaged in the app. That could be another weightage. So with these weightages, you then start recommending people on top. I have heard this rumor. I'm not sure if it is true. New users in a lot of dating apps. I'm not talking about Tinder specifically, but in dating apps, what happens is a new user comes in and they get matched with somebody who's like really difficult to match with, let's say. Okay, and that kind of
Oh,
dopamine hit that you're going to get, yeah, like you are hooked to the app. You're then, you're not going to go anywhere, basically. So it's an
which
easy way
app
to.
is this?
So there have been, I don't know whether there have been studies on this, but the anecdotal evidence is all I have. Not with myself, but there are
Okay.
folks that the first two or three people that they swipe, one of them is a match.
Ah. Okay.
So I don't know if you can blame the app. The app is like, hey, I have to try your profile on thousands of people initially and then rank you. So when you join the app, they quickly try to rank you. So they send it to thousands of people. Amongst them, they have some really high profile matches. And so once you are matched, you feel like, oh my God, this is an amazing app. And usually you don't end up in a relationship with them because they are a high profile match. So then you're stuck in this app. What I'm trying to say is you can make this complex, you can make it very business oriented. These are the things you can do. Then you can be cruel to people, yeah.
Okay, let's get back to the code. Okay, let's go ahead and make the match class by looking at the class diagram. Of course, it was having ID. So, okay, the other thing would be it was having two users. So we can have user A, user B. Okay, and a list of chat.
That's right.
Chats, right? Okay, we don't have a class chat. Okay, and there were two things that we were able to add a message, basically add stuff into the chat, and fetching a chat. So which is again the getter for a chat. So let's just quickly write it down. Void add, maybe add chat. So we'll get a chat, and this would be chats dot add. And other function is again the set getter function for the chat. So I'm just leaving it. Okay. The other thing was swipe. So for swipe, we are having a map of users, right? Users. So we were having two functions, add to swipe and check if swiped or not. So just writing this here because this is again very simple. So void add to swipe. What will it get? It will get a user. People can just add them. Then other thing was checking if swiped. So check if swiped, we would again get a user. And again, people can just check if that user is present in that map or not, order for an operation. The last thing is chat. Chat was only having a metadata. So maybe a user, this was having a sender, and other thing was a description. So yeah, okay. I think we are done writing the code as well. Yeah, I think we're done. As far as I can see in the class diagram, we are done making all the functions.
Okay. That's great. This is good. Okay.
What do you think?
I think yes. The most important thing is just seeing how you're going to swipe people left or right. What really helped is you having a class diagram and a UML diagram, which sped up the process. Of course, we were answering questions because of which it took us 1 hour 20 minutes. But we started about 10 minutes in, and also in
the middle also we took questions.
Right. In an interview, I think a low-level design interview usually is for what, 1.5 hours?
1 hour. 1 to 1.5 hours, yeah.
1 to 1.5 hours, okay. Yeah, I think we would have made it easily. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is good. Guys, any questions you have for us? Rahul is saying, how can you tell me about low-level design course? How is it different from these live videos? Okay, I don't know if I should share my screen. Those are edited videos, yeah. So they are like far better.
Those are edited videos. We have taken premium features as well. So we have taken those systems end to end. We would be sharing all the code videos, use case diagrams, class diagrams with you guys. There would be quizzes as well, which will help you in retention. There would be summaries as well, which you can see at the last. And um, since we have taken all the premium features, like basic features, along with the premium features, we are discussing about the this what do we say, system patterns, design patterns as well over there. So I think we have covered largely everything. So it would be really helpful. And again, there would be Zoom sessions as well, where we would be taking your doubt sessions as well.
Yeah, we should sell these Zoom sessions separately.
Yeah,
I
we
think
should.
that is going to happen. We recently had a conversation on this. A couple of things. Zoom sessions are probably buying it right now is a good idea. It's at a very low price. It's at a crazy low price. Like, even if you don't apply any discount coupon for the system design course right now, although you have a discount coupon on the chat, like I'll just share it with you. But without a discount coupon, it's like I'm good because you don't just have the videos, you also have queries like doubt solving twice a month. And it's the same with the low level design course right now. It's a steal. So it's such a big steal that I think I and Arun just had a discussion today morning, and we were like, maybe we have to think about the Zoom classes a little bit more, and we have to think about the lifetime validity a little bit more. Obviously, the existing customers, nothing changes for them. They have lifetime validity and they have Zoom classes. But yeah, moving forward, it's a good investment right now. Like moving now is a good idea. Purchasing now is a good idea. Another strange thing is after folks purchase, they don't actually use the content. Many of them are not actually using the content. They're skimming over the content. They're just seeing. So this is there on the previous course also. So why, guys? Like, have a look. You have purchased it. You have paid for it. Uh, what's going on? It's going to help you after all. That's another thing. And that's my responsibility, I guess, to engage you. Maybe it's not put in the right way, but yeah, if you have already purchased, please go over there and just use the thing that you have. Such an emotional plea. Okay, awesome. Can we expect the same scenario as in a real interview? Yeah.
Sort of similar, mostly similar, wherein interviewer would come to you with a set of requirements, and this is just a basic thing which we ourselves have designed that will help you go through the interview, wherein things are made much more easier if you go step by step, wherein you're reading the requirements, you're deciding the actors, you're making the use case diagram. Using that, you go on and have the class diagram. During the class diagram, I feel whenever you're making the class diagram, most of the discussions or most of the questions which an interviewer is going to ask are cleared there and then. Now you don't find any issue while writing the code. So like you see, we are done at 8:21, and I think we started at 7:10, 7:12. Okay, now Gaurav also took queries in the middle where we were transitioning, and since I was explaining you guys also, so all in all, if you see, net everything was done in 1 hour, 1 hour or one a little above 1 hour. Okay, so this is going to be really helpful, I feel.
Yeah. This itself is helpful. Obviously, the edited videos are much more helpful, frankly speaking.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't have to go through questions which are not coming to your mind. Here, you have to go through everybody's question. Right? Is it necessary to use design patterns in low-level design interview, as most of the low-level designs can be done by using only OOPS concepts?
That is also again OOPS, on the basis of OOPS concepts only, design patterns.
Yeah. Okay. There's one interesting question. Is the low-level design course right now only for existing members?
Huh.
So if you are an existing member, you can purchase this low-level design course. The existing course also has a low-level design section, but it is targeted for SD3 and above. It's a machine coding, and we talk about concurrency, we talk about latency, we talk about advanced design patterns, which are not necessarily relevant for SD1 or SD2. The new course, which is in collaboration with Arun, is for SD1, SD2, and even for, like, let's say, fourth year college students. It would make sense. So it's a different course. Nikhil Vinay, keep the low level design at CTC. Have you watched the?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's watched the booking. You had
MMT
the
video.
yeah. Just go and watch that video. Okay. Do you have videos on DSA also? Not yet.
Not yet.
But okay, Amit is saying thank you. Great, guys. This is superb. Let's wrap it up. I think there's quite a few questions coming in, but some of them we can answer, some of them we can't. When can one know it's time to start system design or architectural role? What is the prerequisite portfolio be? If you're an engineer, you should start. Like if if you're starting with your internship, also you should. It's like system design is not rocket science. It's just application of concepts like databases, networks, operating systems, and even data structures to practical design scenarios. What do you think? Arun, when do you think they should start? That's the reason why we're talking about college graduates. For me personally, what do you think? Arun?
Well, I think people should start right after they join working, right? Because ultimately, at the end, if you want to go ahead in your career, maybe to principal engineer, that's what he does, designing systems. And code is something which everyone I feel can write at some point, But architecture is something which is really, really difficult, and that is something which is on which time is spent a lot. So I feel when you are later in your college, let's say third year, fourth year, and that's why companies these days have low level design rounds also and high level design round interview rounds also, even for college grads. So I think they should start.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, just start. Okay. I guess this is Nikhil has already purchased the course. I'm not sure, or he's. If you have Nikhil, then underlying algorithm for main feature in an LLD design of the course. I don't know what you mean by this. Maybe you can connect with us separately on contact interview ready. I'm not sure if you've gone through the videos. If you have and you have a doubt, do let us know. When will it be available to us, the low level design one? Uh, okay, it's available only to the users who have currently purchased the existing course. Like I said, we are going for first 500 customers who can give us some good feedback, and we are working on it. Uh, Arun, what 1 week, 2 weeks, like you mentioned earlier?
1 to 2 weeks at max.
1 to 2 weeks. Okay, then Soumya, we'll have it out in a week or two. Why only 500 slots for LD? You're going to increase the price later on. Yes. Existing customers, there's a reason why it's only being given to them, right? They're getting a really good combo offer. The price of the course right now is 2,000. Okay, that's not the price of the course that we are looking to keep later. So I'll give you a very strong hint. Just go to interview ready. Even if you don't buy the course right now, just sign up. Signing up is going to probably help you get a notification early. So you'll get it at a discounted rate. Yeah. Okay. By the way, I think the most important part of your HLD course is the fundamentals. It made all the other designs really easy to understand. Thank you, Rahul. Parking lot design. Can you give an insight to start with? It's parking lot is in the course, right?
Yeah, parking lot
Yeah.
is something which we have discussed in detail in the
I think
course.
we have to launch
It's
it
a
as soon as
full-fledged
possible.
chat.
So I'm saying, okay, thank you. Arun, sorry for cutting you off in between, but like you said, it's been discussed in detail. I think you have taken it, right? Yeah.
Yes, I've taken it.
Yeah. So right now it has 4 chapters, and how many more are on the way?
PayPal is on the way. Cash is
PayPal is
on the
on the
way.
way. On
Booking, airline booking is on the way,
the way. Cash is
and
on the way, like you said. Yeah.
cash is on the way. So
Editing,
there are quite a
pura
few
pressure.
chapters, yeah, that are being added. Of course, as and when they'll add, the more value being added, which means Gaurav is going to
Yes,
increase the
exactly.
price.
That's the whole thing. Like I think we mentioned in the video which we launched to existing customers. We sent them an email and we told them that more value will be added, so the price is also going to go up, which is fine. Which is fine. Sheetal is saying, please prepare some content on DSA also. You guys are explaining really well.
You
Okay.
have some. I have some of the few videos on my channel actually, which is inactive, and there's a platform which I've made open for all the users. Those guys can go on getsdready.com, and
Okay.
there's a full-fledged 30-day course open for everyone, wherein they can get actually SDE ready. So guys can check it out. It is for the community, which is so each and every topic has been taken up. Most of the major algorithms are covered over there, so you guys can check it out.
You can
But
probably
there are
put
no
it in
videos, just the questions.
just the questions. Okay. So you have curated them. Yeah.
Yes, I've curated them.
Okay. Get SD
Get
ready.
SDE ready.
Is it get dot SD
SDEready.com.
ready? Get SD ready.
Get SDEready.com.
.com, is it?
Yes.
Oh, you purchased a .com
Yeah.
website. Okay.
Yeah.
Cost you a bit. Um, can you give some examples that will be covered in the LLD course, Pritesh? Okay, we'll tell you the exact ones. Chat app, like we mentioned, Arun. E-commerce also, cash. Like both of us have
Social
taken
media is there.
chapters. Social media is there. There is car
Car
parking.
parking.
Yeah, there is
Then
PayPal, which is
payment
basically a
gateway.
payment gateway. Yeah, and more on the
we
way.
are actually covering all the major categories. So if you see social media, in social media we are taking care of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and all the new sort of social media that could be made. In e-commerce, we are taking e-commerce. We have taken this complete category, and this covers Flipkart, Amazon, Shopee, or any other e-commerce, Mitra, or any other e-commerce platform that is out there. Chat app is basically a different category altogether, which is taking care of WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, messages, right? Then for payment gateway, if you see, we have taken the example of PayPal, but this is a complete new category, payment gateway, which using this, if you study this, you'll be taking care of Razorpay, Stripe, PayPal, and any other payment gateway if there is out there or who are planning to come. If you see car parking or booking system, so this takes care of airline booking system, IRCTC, right? Hotel booking, or you know. So we are covering
Yeah,
all
I
the
mean, you
major
have taken
categories.
some. Yeah, you have taken the design patterns are handled in such a way that it handles multiple systems. It's not just one question.
Yes.
So we are not taking a very like hardcore interview based approach that ऐसा बोला तो ऐसे करो, वैसा बोला तो ऐसे करो. It's more like, okay, this is the idea and this is why the thought process comes up to this design pattern or conclusion. Okay, that's useful. There's another question which is quite interesting. Samarjit is like, what will be the duration of this course? Depends on how much you are working on it, but a week, do you think?
So
Like, seriously
right now
preparing
there
for
are
an interview. Yeah.
so right now there are 4 chapters, and each and every chapter is at max. You can take 2 hours to complete one chapter. So if I take one chapter a day also, like keeping a lot of buffer, then also right now you can complete the course in 4 days. But yeah, since there are more new categories that are being added later on, so
No, but
10
even
days,
then,
15
like
days.
one week, 5 weekdays,
Yes,
and one weekend, which is to 2 weekends rather. So
yes.
that should be, yeah, one week.
Okay.
Low level design, you don't usually have that much time before an interview. You don't want to
Yes.
over prepare also low level design, because the DSA part is also important and the system design part is also important. We don't want you in a situation where you're just doing low level design. We can flood it up with nonsense, of course, content, but we are also keeping it curated. That's the reason why we are picking these chapters based on what you had recommended on Slido. We had a Slido where I think a few
Yes,
thousand
people
people
rate
have
Slido.
actually voted there.
Yeah.
So they have rank ordered what they like. I mean, what they believe is important. And we went through those things. So in terms of popularity and in terms of usefulness, we picked the questions. And that's how we have created this thing. This was 6 months ago or more. So yeah, this has been going on for a long time in the background. It's just last Wednesday that we released it.
This Wednesday.
This Wednesday, yes. हाँ अभी Friday हुआ है ना.
And I can see there are 400 people that have already purchased the course.
400 have purchased the course, yeah. So initial 100 purchased in half an hour. I was like,
Yes.
I didn't even know. We sent the mail. We thought that, we'll get a good amount of feedback. Immediately, Arun started getting calls like, what's going on? So it was like, why am I not able to purchase this as a paid user? So fix that. So then, it's a genuine, legitimate concern also. So we increase the limit. Yes. Online Shikshak is saying, really enjoyed today's session. Thanks to you both. Thank you. When is it going to be available for purchase? 1 or 2 weeks. Because we got all this good feedback, we'll go back to our team and just say, guys, we need it out next week. That's it. So it'll be out in a week. I'll make it happen. If not, yeah, we'll make it happen. Yeah. Can you share the link to the 2000 course you were referring to earlier? Could find the 4K only on your website. Yeah, that's the whole point. Study your own stuff. It's right now. I don't know. Yeah, we haven't released it to many people. That's the thing. Sorry for this. No, yeah. If you already have the course, yeah, then. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yes, I'm feeling awkward because you're asking me for the link and we can't give it. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, Arun, do you have the last words?
Thank you so much, and we'll surely take everyone's feedback into consideration, and we'll work really hard for the chapters that are upcoming. We'll take care of all your feedbacks, and thanks for your appreciation, and we'll take this into consideration.
Yeah,
we'll try our level best to make you guys available in the next week.
Exactly, because we don't want you to get a course and then you feel like, dude, what the hell is this? So we really need feedback. We need to improve on it, and then in a staggered approach, we'll have it launched for you also, of course, ASAP. Okay, folks, see you then. Have a great day. Good night. Take care. Bye-bye.